I'm Julia Marie, founder of Leveled Up Living and your host of the Leveled Up Living podcast. I'm here to help you reprogram your subconscious mind, break free from limiting beliefs, and unlock your full potential so you can create your dream life with ease. Using neuroscience, universal laws, energetics, and subconscious reprogramming, I will guide you in shifting your reality and manifesting unlimited success, wealth, and freedom. Hello. Welcome back to the podcast. I have missed this space so much. You guys have no idea. I know it's been a minute. Life was just crazy busy and I just needed a second to just be. Because when I show up to the podcast, I want to be intentional. I want to be present. I don't just want to throw something together and kind of go through the motions. I really want to be here with you guys. So today, I just want to have a real convo with you. Not the highlight reel, not the perfectly curated version, just me, you, and some truth. So before we jump in, I just want to say I feel like I'm coming back with a renewed energy. Like I feel like I have so much energy. It's just pouring out of me. And you know, the pressure of just having it all together at all times can really affect the way that you show up. And with all of the wedding planning and moving halfway across the country, I just felt like if I were to get on, it was going to feel forced. And I just did not want to do that. So I think in the last podcast, I had mentioned possibly being able to road trip with my bestie over to the East Coast, which we did. And I'm going to fill you guys in on that. We left Kansas City at like 10 a.m. and we just decided like the week before we left to just drive through the night because she only had a couple days in Virginia Beach with me. And we just thought, why stop somewhere when we probably won't be that tired? We're probably just going to want to get there anyways. Why not just drive through the night? We'll plan it so that we get there right at sunrise and we can run out to the beach, watch the sunrise together, and then we can just go back to our house, go to bed, wake up, and decide what needs to be done the next day. So we did it. We went straight through the night. We did get a little tired, but we made the sunrise and it was so beautiful. And all the synchronicities that were happening around us just made me know that this is where I'm meant to be. So when we first got to the beach, we found parking right away. I mean, granted, it was 5 a.m, so I don't think very many people were out at that time, but we get to the beach and it's perfect timing. The sun's just coming up and we set up a little blanket. We both sit down. We're just enjoying the beautiful view. And we both notice a group of dolphins right in front of us. And it was just beautiful. I felt like the dolphins were saying, hello, welcome to Virginia Beach. We're so happy to have you here. So we see this group of dolphins and I'm thinking, is this a sign from the universe that I'm meant to be here? Maybe it is, but I want to see another one. You know, like I feel like we're always, even if we do get our sign, we want another one for confirmation. So we're sitting there and a little dragonfly comes and sits right next to me. And I don't know if you guys know this, but I have a little dragonfly tattoo on my ribs that I got with my mom before I went to college. Dragonflies were just always our special thing. So whenever I see a dragonfly, it makes me think of her. I honestly don't know why. We've just always, like whenever we would see dragonflies, we'd send pictures to each other. It would just always remind us of each other. And so when I saw this dragonfly, I just felt at peace because, you know, being in Kansas City, I was a lot closer to my family. So being able to drive up to see my family for the weekend was a lot easier. And now being on the East Coast, that's not going to happen as often. So leaving Kansas City, I was pretty sad. I just knew I would miss my family a lot. Family is very important to me and my family and I are super close. So seeing this dragonfly just gave me that reassurance that no matter how far I go, my mom and I are always going to be connected. My family and I are always going to be close. And I think dragonflies are also a symbol of new beginnings. So that was also really cool to see that literally within 10 minutes of us being at the beach. So then, you know, the sunrise was over and we were packing up, getting ready to leave. We're walking back to the car. And directly above my car is a cardinal singing its little song. And to me, whenever I see cardinals, I always think about my grandpa who passed away a couple years ago. So the week before we're leaving, it was actually a couple days before we're leaving for the East Coast. I actually found out that my grandpa was stationed in Virginia Beach when he was around my age. So that was super cool and also just made me feel very comforted because my grandpa and I were very, very close. And I always feel his presence with me no matter where I'm at, like whether I was in California or Nebraska or Kansas City, I can always feel his presence. But knowing that he was stationed here and he was also around my age, it just really made me feel so much more at peace with moving away. And to see that cardinal sitting right above my car, singing its song, and also a little side note, my grandpa loved to sing. That almost brought me to tears because I just felt like the universe was giving me every single sign I needed to know that this is exactly where I meant to be. And I just wanted to share that story because it's just so cool to me. And I just feel like with my husband being in the military, we don't really have a choice of where we get to go. But I always like to think that it is divinely aligned and that where we're going is where we're meant to be. So when I saw these synchronicities, I just felt like this is home. This is my home. I'm not ready to leave. I can't even imagine thinking about leaving here. It's so beautiful and perfect. And it's just like a cute little beach town. And what's even more awesome is our old roommates actually live here. And we actually bought a house that's literally 5 minutes away from our old roommates. And I'm not talking about old roommates in the sense of like we lived together for a year and then we kind of stopped talking and, they're living their life, we're living ours. No. These are like true lifetime friends that I know either my husband or I could go to at 3 a.m. and say, hey, this is what's going on. I need your help. And we know they would shoot up out of bed and be like, we're here, we got you. And we would do the exact same thing for them. And living in Kansas City, we didn't have that. I mean, we had family friends that, yes, would help us with anything. But I think moving somewhere and knowing that there are people there that you love and support and you can trust with anything is just unmatchable. So that's just like another thing I've really been thankful for. Okay, so now that we've kind of caught up with what's going on in my life, let's dive into this episode, where I've been and why I've paused. So for starters, we purchased our first home and we moved halfway across the country. I just really wanted to enjoy the experience of putting our own special touch on this house. We've been doing lots of DIY updates. We painted our living room and dining room. I've been updating all of the outlets and switch plates and also been putting new hinges and door handles on all of the doors so we have a new modern sleek look. And with my ADHD brain, honestly, I just needed to unpack, declutter, and organize so I could just think straight. If anybody's listening with ADHD, you totally understand what I'm saying. But when I feel like my house is a mess, my brain is a mess, period. I can't remember what I'm doing for the life of me. I'll start a project and then if I walk by something that was left out, then I end up picking that up and trying to put that away on my way and then I might get distracted. And I just felt like if I were going to sit down and try to podcast and try to be present with you guys, it was going to be really, really hard for me to be present without thinking about all of the things that I needed to do. Because I'm very much the girly that if I have a list of things to do, I will not relax until that's done. That's just how I am. Every day when I have work stuff, I literally can't eat dinner until I get my stuff done for the day so then I can close my laptop, I can shut my planner, I can just prep for the next day, and then it's like closing a tab. I just feel like ADHD people, the way that I describe my brain is I have a million tabs open and I'll jump from this tab to the next and try to multitask. So I've just learned that it's a very good boundary for me to have to just finish a task, complete it, close that tab, and then I can move on to the next tab, right? Until the window gets closed. You understand what I'm saying? And honestly, I just needed a reset after planning our wedding. We had over a 2-year engagement. However, my fiance, my now husband, was deployed for 6 months and we hadn't decided where we were going to have the wedding at. So I couldn't really get started until he got back which was last March. So then I just felt like the pressure was on. And if you have ADHD, you totally understand this, but I was stuck in analysis paralysis with colors. I think I talked about this on the podcast in past episodes, but I would pick my colors and I knew I wanted to do blue. Okay. So that's what I ended up deciding on. I knew I wanted to do a satin blue. However, there are so many beautiful colors that I just see so many beautiful weddings with so many different ideas. And I would just get wrapped up and lost in that and thinking, oh, should we add this maybe? Or maybe we should do these colors. Maybe that'll bring out my eyes, or, just like those random thoughts that I would just run on repeat. So really happy, really, really happy to be finished planning the wedding. And it was beautiful. It was amazing. We had so many amazing people show up for us and support us. And I seriously have just been letting that play on repeat a little bit in my head. I've just wanted to relive that day every single day since I've woken up. I cannot even describe the feeling. I just feel so grateful to have the family and the friends that my husband and I do have, because I don't think I will ever get over how incredible our wedding was. I just realized I wasn't showing up with a full cup, and that's something I literally coach on. And I just knew I needed to take a step back, because at my previous job, I really struggled with burnout, and I just knew how detrimental that was to my mentality. And as a coach, I need to be able to set those boundaries and show up for myself, because if I'm not showing up for myself, then how do I show up for my clients, right? So that was humbling as hell. But, I took that time and I really decided to romanticize my life and took the time to reflect and make goals for this next year, make a plan for this next year. And I just feel like I'm back and I'm better than ever, baby. So I've been loving going to Trader Joe's. I've been going to the beach. I've been seeing our friends, hanging out. I had my best friend out here, so we were exploring, checking out all the new spots. And then I had 2 other friends come out to visit me as well. So I've just been in a phase of just really trying to romanticize my life. So here's what I've learned. Slowing down isn't quitting, it's recalibrating. I needed that time because I know myself. I know that after planning a wedding, after purchasing our first home, moving halfway across the country, also having people coming out to stay with us, I just knew I was on the verge of burnout and I needed to take that break to reflect and recalibrate. And now I feel like I've come back with so much energy and like this new sense of purpose. Like I know exactly what I want and where I'm going. Slowing down isn't quitting, it's recalibrating. And I truly, truly mean that, because I feel like if I would have kept going at the pace I was going, I would have hit that burnout phase. And sometimes your next level starts in the chaos, not in clarity. I've had to sit in the unknown lately and not rush to fix it. And that was the most expansive thing I've done in a very, very long time. I had to trust myself, knowing that I needed that break. I had to trust God and the universe that taking this break was recalibrating me for something even greater, even better. I would be able to show up with more presence and more clarity and just more connectivity. So here are a few things that have been lighting me up and just making me feel alive. So 1, I've been having so much fun up-leveling our home. Our house, when we moved in, was very 2012-esque, all pasty, pastel yellow walls everywhere in every single room. And our front door is a bright teal blue. All the door handles and hinges were silver. I've been swapping them out for matte black. And instead of door knobs, I've been putting door handles on because I just feel like that's an up level. And it's not like I knew how to do any of that stuff, but I've just been teaching myself as I go. And it's been really, really fun. And it's so cool to conquer something new. Like you don't have to know exactly what you're doing before you start. I think that's the most beautiful part of life, is that we are always learning. Even when you're a master at something, you can always learn more. So that's just been really fun for me. I also worked at a design studio at my last job as a showroom manager. It was for a lighting design company and then a shading design company, but we worked directly with some of the best interior designers in San Diego. And actually, my boss on the shade side, she's an interior designer. She's been on HGTV. Like she is the master interior designer. All of her designs were beautiful, and I just loved learning from her. So carrying some of that into this new home that we've just purchased, it's just been really fun, and it's been adding value to our home. So we've just been loving it. We feel like we're up leveling every day, my husband and I. And I started a new morning routine since we got here, and I've been loving it. It's like my soft girl era. Every day I'll wake up, wash my face, get ready for the day, brush my teeth, and then I'll go down, I'll make myself a little cup of cold brew coffee with sugar-free vanilla and almond milk. Love starting my day like that. I'll sit down with my journal and I'll write my goals for the day. I'll write any priorities I need to get done that day. And then I write one thing that I'm grateful for, one thing that I'm looking forward to, and one affirmation that I want to embody that day. And depending on how I feel and kind of like what I ate for dinner the night before, I might make an egg. I might make a 1 egg taco with some ground meat, or I might make some avocado toast to kind of munch on while I'm journaling. And I've just been really loving starting my mornings like that. And while I'm doing that, sometimes I'll also throw on some binaural beats, which I love. It just makes me feel like I'm in a good headspace when I start the day. And another thing that I've been loving, if I wake up in the mornings and I'm feeling very meh, then I've just been loving turning on house music. And as I'm cooking my egg, I like pump myself up for the day almost. And then when I sit down to journal, I'm just in this really good headspace and it just really helps. I just love starting my day like that. It makes me feel like I have more mental clarity. I can show up with more purpose and I'm actually focused on the things that are priorities that day instead of juggling how I kind of mentioned with the ADHD before. Like if I see it, then it's like, oh my gosh, I need to do that. So that has been super, super helpful. So if you're in this phase of life, I just want to invite you to release the pressure to be perfect all the time and just give yourself grace. That's all. Just give yourself grace because we are all learning. You're never behind, okay? Never, never, never. You're never behind. You're always right on time. You are divinely aligned. So I don't want you to be stressing about this pressure to perform or be perfect because you already are, babe. You're already perfect exactly how you are. And you just need to see that and give yourself grace until you do. And for anybody who's listening that this is resonating with right now, I just want to invite you to check out my one-on-one VIP coaching. My one-on-one VIP coaching is all about you. It's about your goals, where you want to go in life, how you want to get there. We create a roadmap that is curated specifically for you, for your goals, for your life, so that you can start taking steps towards your next level life. I want you to be living your absolute best life, and I will be by your side every step of the way, cheering you on, providing resources that you might need, anything. I will be your biggest cheerleader. I just want you to start living your best life. So if you're feeling behind, if you're doubting yourself, if you're in between who you were and who you're becoming, if you feel like you're in that weird in-between phase, I just want you to know that nothing's wrong with you. You're not broken. You are becoming who you're meant to be. And by giving yourself grace, you're able to get there with more ease. Growth is rarely, very rarely aesthetic, but it is always so much more potent and powerful than you would ever imagine. If this episode spoke to you, send it to a soul sister, a bestie, anyone who might need this reminder. Let's give ourselves grace together and grow through it. DM me on Instagram at _leveledUpLiving. I would love, love, love to hear your takeaways from this episode, and I will catch you in next week's episode. I hope you have a great day and a great week. I love you so much. Bye.